much for watching. So today I am doing a story time. I'm telling a very interesting story about my worst date ever. I tried to film this video last week and I took too long telling the story and it ended up being like 22 minutes long and it was too long to upload. So all that work for nothing, but I'm back and I'm going to make it shorter, but I'm still going to tell the same things, just not going to like ramble on. So to protect the guy's identity, I'm going to change his name to Bob. So this took place like right after I had started college. So it was like in like July, I think is when this happened. And this actually was like my first date ever in college. So me and him had been friends on Facebook. And one day he just sent me a message that was like, "Hey, beautiful, what are you doing?" And I was like, oh my God, he's so cute. Oh, and let me tell you what he looks like. That would be important. So he was tall and he had muscles. He was in the military and he had like super white teeth. Like his teeth could have blinded you. So anyways, I was like, oh my God, hey. Thank you. Well, he just opened my message and didn't say anything back. So I was like, okay, well, hey, a little bit. He obviously isn't interested in me. Then like a couple of days went by and he messaged me and we started talking. Well, we exchanged numbers and he started texting me. So like anybody does who's been texting for like a couple of days, y'all, you know, bring up the topic of meeting up. Well, he didn't live here where I live. He lived like 45 minutes from here. And we had been like Snapchatting back and forth, so I knew that he was really him. And so we agreed to meet up at this Mexican restaurant. And I was new to this town, so I really didn't know that there were more than one Mexican restaurant, which happened to be the one that I knew of. Well, I ended up going to the wrong place and I called him and I was like, "Hey Bob, I think I'm at the wrong restaurant." And he got so mad. He was like, "Well, where's it at? Can you tell me what's around it?" And I was like, you know, there's this store and this store and this store. He's like, "That's nowhere near what I was talking about, but if you just hang on like 10 more minutes then I'll be there." So I was like, I know that ain't getting mad at me because I went to the wrong place. I was sitting there and I was texting my roommate at the time and I was like, oh my gosh, like, what if this guy is fake? Like, what if he's been having somebody Snapchat me that's not really him? Like, what if he catfishes me? What if he's rude? What if he just doesn't even show up? So I had been waiting for like 20 minutes now. I'd already went and got us a table. And he texted me and he was like, "Pulling up." And I was like, oh my God, like, this is the moment. Like, this is where we decide if this is really Bob. So he walks in and it was him and I was like, he's so cute. Well, he walks over and he has his keys in his hand and he literally slams them on the table. And I like looked at him, I was like, what? He was like, "I'm going to the bathroom." And I was like, "Well, hey, I'm Lauren, it's nice to meet you." And he just like walks away. So I was like, this already isn't going good. He gets back from the bathroom and he sits down. He's like, "This isn't even where I was talking about." Well, obviously it's not. You made a point to tell me that over the phone like 10 times. So the waitress comes to take our drink order and he's rude to her. She asked what he wanted to drink and he was like, "Water. I just need water." And I was like, don't be rude to her. Like, it's not her fault that you're an asshole. On into the date, like, we keep talking and he proceeds to tell me that he thinks that I'm fake and that I am high maintenance because I have my makeup done. And I was like, "Well, why do you think that I'm high maintenance?" And he was like, "Well, it's just how you have your makeup done. Like, it looks like you take forever to get ready and that all you care about is your looks." And I was like, you really don't know me, boy. And he was like, I just thought that you were fake looking at your profile. Like, you look like someone fake. And he was like, and I kept thinking that you were fake on my way here. And like, after about him saying that like 10 times, I was like, I'm not fake. I'm right here in front of you. You can touch me if you want to. Like, I am Lauren. I am real. I am right here. For you to sit there and like assume that I'm fake and high maintenance and stuff, and that's like your first time meeting me, like, that's not a good thing to do on a first date. So then we're talking, like, I'm just trying to like bear through this date, if that's what you would even call that. And he asked me what kind of movies I like. And I was trying to be nice, and I was like, well, you know, I'm not too fond of action movies, but I like chick flicks, and I like scary movies. Like, literally, he looked like this. He was sitting up against the booth. And I was like, well, Bob, what kind of movies do you like? And he goes, I like devil movies. And I was like, wait, hold up just a second. Did you just say you like devil movies? And he was like, yeah, I like devil movies. And I was like, I don't think that devil movies is like a genre, but okay. And I was like, well, what do you mean by devil movies? And he proceeds to tell me that he likes movies that involve like exorcisms and the devil and crap like that. And I was just like, I can already tell, like, this guy's crazy in the head. Once again, he was like rude to our waitress when she took our order. And ladies, you need to pay attention if you're on a first date, like how your guy treats his waitress, because if he's rude to her, he's gonna be rude to you. So then he proceeds to ask me if I want to hear something funny. And I really didn't want to hear what he had to say, but I was like, sure, Bob, tell me what you have to say. He tells me that he was watching the news and that he saw on there where a lady was like on a roller coaster and it turned upside down and she fell out of it, and he laughed. He was laughing at it as he was telling me. And I was like, what the F is wrong with him? And I just sat there, like, I didn't laugh or anything. I was like, I'm ready for my food to get out here, because as soon as it is, I'm going to eat 2 bites of it, say I'm full, and then I'm going to leave. Our food comes out, and I'm just trying to hurry up and eat. And we somehow, like, get on the topic of, like, relationships. How? I don't know. But he tells me that cheating is not a bad thing. And that if you get caught cheating, oh well, the person just gets hurt and they can either get over it or move on. And I like looked at him and I said, that's not right. I mean, if somebody cheated on me, I would leave them. Like, I would not keep putting up with it. And he was like, well, it's not a bad thing if I get caught. Oh, well, the girl will just have to get over it. It's not a bad thing to, like, be talking to more than one person, seeing more than one person. I was like, yeah, this date is already over. The time comes that I've been waiting for this whole entire date. The waitress is coming. And at this point, like, I did not expect him to be offering to pay for my check. I could just tell that this guy was a douchebag and that he was not going to pay for my check. So the waitress, like, brings out our check, and she had put it all on one, assuming that me and this guy were together, which is easy to do when you're a waitress and you see a guy and a girl together. Like, you assume that it's a date or they're either together. So she brings out the check, and he was like, no, this has to be on 2 checks. And she was like, oh, okay. So I had already had my card out, boy. I was ready to pay for my crap. I was ready to get out of there and leave him. And I sat my card down on the table. Well, she, like, grabs the check from him and goes to split it into 2 checks. And he's like, no, just never mind. Here, just take the damn check and pay for it all on one. Like, he cussed at our waitress. That's exactly what he said. And I was sitting there and I was like, did you really just cuss at our waitress because she assumed that we were together? And the lady, like, just really didn't know what to say. She, like, walked away. And I swear I could have, like, I could, like, punch him in his face. He doesn't even tip her, okay? he does not tip her. So I ended up tipping the lady, which I didn't mind. I ended up tipping her good for him being an ass. And having to put up with him. On most first dates, you know, the guy like walks the girl to her car. She hugs him and tells him thank you for dinner. You know, I had a great time. He's supposed to say, text me when you get home safe. Let me know that you are okay. He didn't even do that. He literally like pushed the door open. He didn't even hold the door open for me. He walked to his truck, got in, and was like, well, hope that you enjoyed it, even though this wasn't the place that we were supposed to go to. And I just was like, get in your truck or I'm about to punch you. And I was like, well, thank you for lunch. I appreciate it. And literally, as I was saying that, he was pulling off. Like, he didn't even hear me say thank you. So I got in my car and I like called my best friend. And that is when we decided that he deserved a code name in my phone. And for those that I haven't ever told, any guy that has been like rude to me or, you know, been mean, y'all have a code name in my phone. Just to let you know if any of y'all are watching. And we decided that his code name was going to be Dog because he was a dog. He was mean. He only wanted one thing and he just was a dog. And every guy also has like emojis by their name corresponding to like what they did. Well, he has emojis of dogs by his name. So that was the story of my worst date ever. Ladies, if you learned anything from this video, just know that just because a guy looks good doesn't mean that he's going to be nice and treat you good. If he's mean to your waitress, he's probably not going to be the nicest to you. Just a heads up. And also, like, if you're texting him and he's kind of like sending red flags and like his questions are really weird and he's acting really weird, like he only wants one thing, to Netflix and chill, just end the conversation because y'all don't need a guy like that. Y'all want somebody who treats you good. So I hope that y'all like this video. If y'all want to hear more story times, I will do more. I'm sorry that I couldn't go into more depth of the story, but I have a time limit and I had to squeeze it into the time limit. If y'all like my video, make sure that you give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. And I appreciate y'all for watching. And ladies, stay away from dogs. We don't need those kinds of people in our life. And I hope that y'all have a good day.